When Ky Hoyle's sex toy shop was shut down due to the pandemic, she decided to set up online courses to teach women how to orgasm.
Well, Ky, who now teaches about 500 women a week how to orgasm, even women from countries where sex toys are banned, says it's vital that we have conversations about female pleasure. And Ky joins us now, and it's great to meet you. Thank you for being here today.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
So this started for you, I think it was in 1992 when you first opened the shop. So why did you do it in the first place?
Well, I literally went shopping for a toy one day and just found it to be the most alienating and icky experience as a woman. You know, they're all completely focused on male pleasure. And it was, you know, we've just watched It's a Sin, and it was around that time, you know, when the whole kind of AIDS thing was happening, and we were being told to go and explore our sexuality and actually talk about the kind of safer sex that we were going to have. And I went shopping, you know, went down to Soho thinking it was my right to explore my sexuality, and found it just wasn't the case. So I literally stomped home from that shopping trip really, really mad, actually, that women's sexuality wasn't being you know, put at the fore. You know, it was just absolutely hidden.
Well, you say that that in the £700 you spent, you know, your last bit of money to set up the shop, and in the first period of time that you were open, you had more journalists through the door than you had customers.
Oh, it was a massive thing. God, you know, we were actually the UK's first ever female focused shop. So it was a massive, massive deal. Nobody could quite believe that we'd started this shop, you know. But actually, most of the press was positive. And it was, you know, from that, you know, because of course we didn't have a marketing budget, so that really helped us on our way, you know. And we've been going for 29 years.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you think 29 years, you know, you think that people would be more comfortable speaking about female pleasure, and that doesn't seem to be the case. I think it's moved on slightly, but definitely not enough. And then COVID hits and you have to shut the doors, which in one way is devastating. But you're offering these online sort of workshops, but suddenly you've got so many people applying and taking up your offer of these workshops. So do you think that the reason people are doing it online is that they're less embarrassed to come online and do it rather than to walk through the doors of a shop?
I mean, that will be a factor, but of course, you know, we were offering classes just in store, so unless you could get to London at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday evening, you couldn't actually come to the classes. So that's what, you know, that was a good thing about COVID. Obviously, having to close the shop was a massive decision, and a very sad decision, because we love having those one-to-one conversations with women, and that's where the real kind of honest conversations about sexuality and pleasure happen. You know, there's so much kind of fantasy around female pleasure that is essentially lies, you know, and it's not helping women to have, you know, full and fabulous sex lives. It's actually stopping them from doing that. Things like porn, and you know, this whole kind of thing around, you know, the expectation that we're all going to orgasm through penetration, and that isn't what happens for the vast majority of women. 75% of women don't do it that way, and so we were always about the realness, and actually taking it online has just helped us spread our reach. You know, we're having women kind of tuning in from, you know, South America, Saudi Arabia. You know, it's astounding kind of what people, you know, that they're searching for real kind of information about.
Well, you mentioned
fantasy.
Saudi Arabia there, which sex toys are illegal in many parts of the world, and so this isn't a service just about sex toys. This is about being in tune with your body, about understanding your body, understanding how it works. And you say that there isn't enough study into how the female body works.
Oh God, no! There's absolutely no studies. I mean, you know, one of the most astounding facts is that the true size and complexity of the clitoris was only discovered in 1998. You know, that's like 20 years ago. So it is very much an area that isn't studied. It is getting a lot better. But it's, you know, there's still massive issues. There's one study. It's very difficult to get to the absolute bottom of the statistics, but it's believed around only about 35% of women actually can name their anatomy, understand their anatomy. So, you know, one of our classes is called Becoming Orgasmic, because it's teaching women, you know, and men, if they want to, you know, they should be interested in this, in how to orgasm, because there's this whole kind of expectation that we're just going to learn to do it naturally, and that doesn't happen for a lot of people, and certainly a lot of women.
Well, some women, it's their first time they've ever experienced orgasm after coming to one of your classes, and some women have medical conditions.
Well, yes, I mean, you know, one of the very first letters we got, because the fabulous thing is that people feed back to us, I think, because we really have these honest conversations and they feel safe with us. And so, you know, one of the first ones was a handwritten letter that said, dear Shush, you know, after 20 years of marriage and 3 children, I finally had an orgasm, you know, and it was, whippy. So, you know, we've had women coming up to us in the streets, hugging us. You know, I know it sounds kind of almost unbelievable, but
it does seem extraordinary. In 2021, it seems extraordinary that there will be people who'll complain about the fact that we're doing this item right now, that even now you say that there is an element still extraordinarily about shame here.
Absolutely, yes, it's deeply rooted. Shame is deeply rooted, and it's kind of, you know, and we're British as well, so we always have that kind of, you know, the kind of carry-on factor, in that we make jokes about sex rather than actually talking kind of honestly about it. And, you know, it is fun. I'm not trying, you know, we don't take the fun out of it at all, but we try and talk about the kind of honest issues. And some of those issues are things around like pain during sex. It affects a lot of women. And so, you know, we've been talking about vaginismus, which is a medical condition, and helping women with vaginismus, because it's, again, one of those conversations that doesn't happen. A lot of doctors aren't comfortable about talking about sex. And yeah, we had, another feedback is that, just quickly, vaginismus is when the muscles in the vagina contract so painfully that you can't actually have penetration. And we had, an email saying that due to our help, we'd made a vaginismus baby, which we were absolutely buzzing about, you know, as they were.
Thank you for talking to us today. Once again, we're always happy to smash down those little taboo walls, and happy to help. So good luck online. Do you think you'll reopen the store when we come out of all of this?
Oh, God, what we'll do is pop-ups, I think, because we always want to have that one-on-one connection with people, because that's when, you know, real conversations happen. We're having them on the phone and on the chat box, but we really want to do some one-on-one. So, yeah, pop-ups will be the next big thing.
All right.
Thanks,
Good
Ky.
to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you.